adwuma na den pa team on my consistent performance also the strength and weakness team o check number of goals scored, number of goals conceded. A ben just oh yeah adwuma no say open strength and weakness na abre pa nya adwuma keto kwa na only production team no mo dia mind, but of course this is our work. Nkrofo wura nsu ase kofa de ba kofo wura wiem kofa nyoma de banti o te radio so na say analyze Kotoko strength and weakness but nyu hu nya de ye life threatening what I say
hawk no eagle no so
in Cape Coast 2023 na mu ya pata ti makotra sea shore kakra eji the breeze ne free the Atlantic Ocean mu ba na me yam sheme leta akra no sa nti omo de ship no mu de yini ko gum za no mu ba small kodoro namza ade na anyi na akra be 8-9 year old a chebro so 10 na nso no anu we gya no wato me ka kire mpanyufo nze akra mu do obeba gya ampa nchena abeduru ho
say o kwale baby
wo hu fish kese bi no wo yi abre papa mu ti za ankra no kra buza panyi mu nsu na ye tien try na nya adwuma
enya nsu ke ye pulum wo to ye tremie
na me ka ho ase
epodo to
etinya agro kra abuza panyi de tieni Asante Kotokoti Kabiru beboa me with the current league table. Ni ahwe Kotoko's position on the league table.
Okay.
As we speak, Kotoko ekura.
Except for mon journey wa koma 87.9 FM on Facebook, bra. Na fi watch me follow analysis na ye and watch me hu so yie. Pepe yanko.
50% of the points are fighting for the Asante Kotoko.
Wow.
In the league ni abo 12 games. 12 games, you know. Points you do a woman. 36. Kotokura 18. Into Ubo 18 by 36 times 100 50. So open in decimals a 0.5 in the Asante Kotoko. Abusapani open so number of goals Kotoko a share a season we more. Asante Kotoko no after 5 games you know or say Kotoko +1. It is the number of goals scored and the number of goals conceded no utifrima e kabako. It is the reason I told you that if you say Kotoko's strength is scoring, then obviously their weakness will be conceding because a one difference in a one, and that makes it quite difficult. But with the premise, Omaji, only 15% of the available points so far. 50%, yes. From a possible 36 points,
they have
almost 18 and representing 50%.
Yeah.
In terms of Kotoko play, Propanete Ogum am in different systems with different personnel. So choosing which one and I get the best, you know. Maybe you don't have to use the ones that they won or the recent ones, no, my unfortunately, in mathematics, in arithmetic, you were 1 and 2. Then pass over the what about formal basis to predict something? 1 and 2 cannot form trend. Adia siba akune simi no anya trend. Eti e honso e ma ne den pass anya sa dia. And the recent form of Kotoko, where they have reverted to playing 2 center backs, using Justice Blay as the holding midfielder, in 2 games, I'm 2 wins, ni no match 2-0 man concede. But because it's 2, obi on here mathematician be able to a weak analysis. If you base your analysis on the 2, at the projection, a very weak projection, and our at least in football, you need antenna or check any serious site be or compare head to head offer the last 5 games.
Yes.
We believe that matches at twice amount a certain picture, a clear picture of how things are at the club. No?
Yeah.
But over 1 game, in the last game, we lose 5. Team I say. Abra be in the previous 4 before game no no one was 8 7 5 6 5 and we lose 5 also we have 5 and I can say the team na say we say you are not making analysis e be a emotional argument and how e be quite fanatic we against into go head now they are saying no which is normal. It's allowed in football. But for those of us, yet microphone yachi, yeah, educated the masses there. Who can say be not one fair to the facts available. Kotoko started season very well. So their first 6 outings, they had 4 wins and 2 drawn games. And I tell you, so had 2 drawn games in the venue now, especially Brekum Chelsea draw. With the exception of that drawn game, I should have getting no. A ball of Boaseno. Nanka Kotoko first 6 games na Busabani. Said no ya boss says and now more next game na Busami there's a trend another ho.
Holy what's the name?
I shall forget young apostles.
Young apostles.
Said them the between. So apostles yes you have for. No, we get 24 young. As you have one getting. Now the difficulty for me and I say after the first 6 games of the season, remember some catchers here about 12. It was about 6, you know. No, I established a certain trend. Say, at least if they don't beat you can beat them. Okay. That was the trend. The trend was that you can't score more than a goal against Kotoko. What the ball back, I took Kotoko 3 months. You bet my shano. No more consider Baku or Brekum, or money Brekum Chelsea. I consider Baku of ye or more any young apostles. Yes, as you have forgotten it. So, and no any that if this House of 4 game, no, the 7th game of the season, because of that trend, I'm telling you, Kotoko winning 4, I draw 2, no, I'll be able to confidently sit here and tell you the strength of the team. Okay. Now, put the first 6 games aside.
Then the next 6.
Kotoko next 6 games, you know, Kotoko goes to Baseke, Holy Stars, when you say come back. No about draw. And a Kotoko, a call away beam to Legon Cities in a game that had been postponed. And a Kotoko equal to 2-1. Now a team had scored more than a goal versus Kotoko. So the previous trend in Amaya 2 doesn't work again. But I've told you, say 1 in a million, it doesn't form a trend. So let's look at the 6 games. Yeah, the 6 games I draw trend at all. Says our games the trend and say to me Kotoko more than 1.
More than a goal.
Sad trend and say Kotoko will not lose under any circumstance. They will either beat you or
draw.
They will draw. In fact, now wins near 4, draw near 2. And to say they will win, I was throw a chance that they will draw.
Sure.
That trend
defeat their number.
Debbie. Now I've moved to a where they drew. And I'm about Legon Cities where they lost, but now they consider 2.
And it was against a side that no unfair crowd. No was a Kotoko 2 no.
Then Kotoko ever both here to Kwando out of Lions. And will lose you by a goal to 0. And a Kotoko go away to Bechem no lose you by a goal to 0.
Yeah.
And a Kotoko both here to Nations and will lose you by 2 goals to 0. So within the next 5 games after the first trend, they've now played games of considered 2. So you are safely able to say, oh, the first one to China for second trend no more building now. We a team now money bread to
more than 1.
The first analysis is that oh boy, 1 no Quran utia you know
that will be all.
But when dear, after dear, teams me no ase me no de tia
Legon Cities
and Nations FC. Legon Cities away, Nations FC at home. But at home, they had lost to Kwando out of Lions. And away, they had lost to Bechem United. Now, the point is that Asante Kotoko, in the next trend, I can sit here and say, Kotoko game no go Obelusu. No, I'm sure you cry Obelusu by more than a goal. Again, in that 5 games that they had gone, proud to the Diana Stars game, now Asante Kotoko actually 2 goals, but 5 games, you know, consider goal. And I mean, we consider 2-2.
In those 5 games, no.
Sir, wakwa nyina se akobo draw o shego. Ana wakwa Legon Cities ni ahye ni 2-1 o shego. Ana one Kwando out of Lions be bo fie ni ehye ni 1-0.
Wan shebi.
Ana okọ bechem ni ehye ni 1-0.
Wan shebi.
Ana obebo Nations ni ehye ni 2-0.
Wan shebi.
So in 5 games, the next trend I want to draw in the 5, Kotoko a draw baako walusu 4 wahyɛ 2 goals pɛ but saa games ni nyinaa yɛahyɛ goal ɛde atia no but the worst of it is that emu mmienu yɛhyɛ 2 na atia no
so nations na nka yɛ usual no
yes nations scored 2 Lagos City scored 2 Lions scored 1 and Abechim share 1 the Kotoko had conceded 6 and scored 2 in the next 5 games a different trend and Aban now that different trend is say the Kotoko no or conceded more than the Oshe initially Oshe 1 tia Karela on the young apostles the ball 1-1 Oshe baako on the Brekum Chelsea kobo 1-1 Oshe baako e conceded baako pe then Oshe Samates by go to nil Oshe Accra Lions enti sa trend ne say Kotoko no yene dey obehye go at that time e ka 1 goal project so none of those games are not Kotoko aba won she go but the next 5 games they move 3 no one she go no consider mienu e wo mienu
na so 1 goal project no gra na man focus increase na fe gra the article
now after the first
6 no
article ababe gina ba bia fe de ono ahye mienu in 5 but we consider nsia minus of 4 that is the next trend that you build for Kotoko then abuzia crop ya no assign amayen a different thing but unfortunately it has come at a time too little to form a trend the 6 a form a trend the 5 a form a trend that is allowed in arithmetic that's allowed in mathematics the next league game okoboy no I sat here and said Kotoko are likely to lose that game abranti frame the dim tempo hey Monzo ya na mo apa o
Facebook is obedi atembo
so I sat here and said Kotoko ebe lose that game because this is Kotoko a walusu obechem this is Kotoko a walusu ewo Legon this is Kotoko a walusu to nations ofie walusu to Patriot of Lions now I am not a caricature me nya suit say I mean ko spiritual realm na makasem so I use the analysis said here Kotoko I sat here and predicted that Kotoko will win. Even when they drew the next game on Lagos City, I said they will win. Because at that time the trend could safely support that prediction. And now Kotoko no ako 2 games. Say 2 games in Yawashe 2 on Konzidibi. To Washe 4 goals, even though in different competitions, 1 in the FA Cup, 1 in the Premier League. But of course, when we are building the trend, Asante say do you know why you can safely include the FA Cup win? The coach did not change much.
Okay.
Say players and Yami Adma boy ya yekobo mumobia. What the analysis ne ye ebia nka Kotoko the youth team no. And of course say Zankura ni nyina mobinti you don't build but where the game no Kamara started na Lordamo started Patrick Asidu started Blade Bosses, Abetam, what's the name? Joseph Ablo, any Abrante did Samba 4 and 5. Says, Justice Blade Boy. No, as had the entry, no, just Obia, no entry for bench by. Or more expert to me, Obia will give him. Abetam will lead, no, as go. It's when you want to build the trend, if Sankiabo games, and there is a safe grounds to build the next trend for Kotoko. So now the question is, Kotoko formed their hand bar. Yeah, by your own strength and weakness,
Yes.
If we take the first 6 games of the season, where they played 6, won 4, drew 2, considered only 2. You bet Makasa Kotoko strength bako pa na your defense na pampe you can bridge it. To concede 2 in 6. Something that ubetumi akase into be strength so the first 6 games no strength no pa na ye omo a defense the next 5 games no strength no cannot be the defense because they consider 6 and scored only 2
okay
so overall Okamboma ubon say you are not too strong here you are not too weak there. You bought 12 games. 12 games abusua panyin Kotoko ahye ode aduana 2 no bɛka ho a they scored 6 in the first 6 games and on bɛhyɛ 2 ɛwɔ the next 5 no now the course is now 8 no say 2 and now no that now 10 Kotoko ahye 10 goals in 12 games. It is not a strength. When you have scored 8 in 10 in your strength, they have considered 7 in 12. Probably you could say the defense is quite strong, especially because 7 2 games almost considered 4 into on the average and just 2 3 other games almost considered goals. Then Kotoko consider Brekum almost consider Young Apostles almost consider Nyinase or consider Chelsea or consider Lions or consider what's the name Nations and Bechem. The out of the 12 games na yabon Kotoko a consider in 7 so 7 games and more consider the 9 goals rule. It will different much as 5 games or much so on that score you are able to say okay as a Kotoko ba defense now even though they have considered 9 but those 9 goals were considered in 7 games
and then move 5
it's a moon consider goal yes but you want to juxtapose that with the opponent has about 12 goalkeeper na keep 7 clean sheets has goals or considered in 5 because considered in 7 today we the ko bo we the mana both of strength na yiraba so as ya ko baby na minim rap first car or toy but na me madoma me talk of 3 na nipa wie polynia national service na mi kura go of 3 na yakoye graduation nyagoro abusia o kaiza adana na jira mbeji skafele car me Jones ene Peter I isem na yekoduru se me amede a chese car me mboro ye nti ya basa na ehu se o te 4x4 mai we ni ofa
wow the araji se obeji ska
bi o te benz bu bia ne papa car ba me de me ama to go of 3 at that time obuza penny go of 3 speaker that was it here na boys no we school especially boys don't think cry by that time pa ka so bi ti Toyota yi mu boys e de twatwo so sana as ye fast cop park go of 3 no as your grass and back ama into your strength when you come against other people one way na ya be weakness now do nti e ho no some Chelsea has the kakra say Kotoko are considered 9 goals in 7 games House of Folk Oma keep 7 clean sheet goalkeeper no nko na ada obi na ebiem wow and he has considered only 5 games even though when it comes to the number of goals ubo so G 2 or pound G 1 or ha when it comes to that we'll analyze that.
Yes, sir.
In all honesty, Kotoko identifying Kotoko's strength is difficult, but this is one of their strengths. And that strength again a weakness.
Anything.
The strength of Kotoko, and say Ujai Abet Amwa na Fabet Amwa 2 pages. Obeshe go. 8 goals in 12 games so far this season. Kodana say 8 in 12. What it tells you is or your strength of the Kotoko team. I had to say on the Man City Kobobo. Na le hala ni jinam or your strength at the Manchester City no. Pia ball to the nim na landi ye nano. Wamu go no mo se tia Crystal Palace no. Sa gaman wa nhwiro. Crystal Palace defender no wa hwiri just ba bia nyamba bo na na hwira duru jira buru jan wa duru. Ale hala ni jina o se ya no wa charity no de ahwibo na Esan so went to head this call so try keeper Sano. Na bona beto it is a strength. But Amwa or represent strength at the Makotoko. Because when he's on the ball, when the half chances, in fact, he score half chances.
Okay.
Kotoko go no share or Karela. Kotoko ni Samates, Steve na Samates or the ball far line as well. We travel is na Samates or anana Karela. Baseke Holy Stars away. Baseke. It was a penny or a huge strength of Kotoko. 8 goals in 12 games.
Naza, he doesn't need a clear chance.
No. Surprise, no. Bob, I couldn't 9 left here. But see, you want to abona Boba and I say, none of your break. Come on. na ball that them.
Yeah.
And yet chances see a creative ball, ama striker where there. Ye nyina ye team goal ni bia o. From nowhere ball until or your strength for the Kotoko team.
I want to say your weakness how.
A weakness is any papa go pen and say goals abusua penny. We just said in the league is a Kotoko. Number of goals or match no. Kotoko says they do.
Yes. Abetamo anko a.
Ena abetamo ano. Ahye emu ensia anase nson meboa FA Cup no say one.
Yes.
FA Cup no say it was just 6. Was just 6 out of the 10 goals na Kotoko ahye. That's more than 50% of the number of goals Kotoko ahye. On a day that he fails to click, on a day that an opponent is able to map up a strategy to keep him quiet, on a day that he's not able to play his usual game or he gets injured,
or the 60% of Kotoko goals score,
you are doomed. This is Kaya. Na Kotoko ni bechem. Kotoko best game this season. Mr. Steve no in the park. Kotoko game on this season and I full person with bechem. Who should score? Kotoko ntimi go because Abetamwa had an injury the previous game. Nikoto je omone Lions ball or boase no. And that injury, boy nankasa they did a chidi. When he got down or tough from no, how he shouted. Omode never told abonten the demeanor. In fact, he was crying. The young one say, doctors he had to be carried at the back of Emzo Koronko's toilet. And son of the neighbor see technical bench. Yeah, point again, he was carried at somebody's back to the bus. I thought the boy would be out for a very long time. He misses 1 full week. The next week he's playing 45 minutes. The following week he goes to Doma, he scores. Wow. Or a different player. He represents Ojinawa as an asset, Ojinawa as a liability. So only different channels where your goals can come from. Yeah, the coaches any bar. Two things. Either try the attention of someone and answer they can just pay their apologies to Isaac Boateng and say the shut up shop. Play the shut up shop and shut you up and your team is shut. Also, the Alejandro Nanche go be a man city. Yes. The when you brace, and said you when you brace and your hat tricker, and just they will not win. Now no Champions League no crowd where you money na say me no na you find out for Eddie Mkamwete. Inti quite a difficult situation for Kotoko. So overall, Kotoko strength when it comes to be a number of goals conceded, but Makacho said no to compare has the independent Kotoko the Beira every. Then Omo a player because here can say has his only player on kwashe 4 Hamza 3 Hamza Isa. Eti when we are talking about the potential to score, so we be say go Omo bibi obet na friend every time anytime goal scorer as Divo Zane can. Anytime goal scorer ni chese Kotoko has. Obeti anytime goal scorer on Abetamwa and likely because of the figures not there man. So be say go than we has of player be so go. And that's a strength for Asante Kotoko. And I think that one thing I know, the ability of Prosper Nate Ogum. But see the analysis in ye. Okay. Yes, some fun to just say Kotoko strength back when say someone taking lead in the first half. Say Kotoko not taking lead in the first half. I was no lose. Say Kotoko taking lead in the first half. Lose. Okay. That's another strength. But of course, the weakness is that also show first goes Ekima. Omo pressa winning match. Ubianja Kotoko Commercial.
Pepe, you go so kakaka. Game never basso on the 15th. And then your Kotoko Seraph. Maminti, you should this Kotoko team. They are playing at home. Yes, almost strengths and weaknesses. Still easy no. Enyan trans omo trans ya bebre mo obahin.
Well, Kotoko was strength, omo weakness. The strength of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. For me, I see it's the weaknesses of the Kotoko team in recent times. Way above the strength of the Kotoko team. Now, I also feel that Prosper in the weaknesses of the Kotoko team. So obviously Prosper can work on it. Now, Osha Kumasi Asante Kotoko team was share 10 goals. I conceded 9 goals. The weakness is clear, and the weakness is that our very weak defense. Now, if you score 10 goals in 12 games, it also means your
Attack
scoring attack is so any. Now, what's actually from the fact that out of the 10 goals, one player has 6 out of the goals, which is 60% of Kotoko's goals depends on one player. Now, these are the weaknesses of the Kotoko team. High concession rate, goals are Kotoko conceding a dozen. To concede 9 goals in 12 games, what that means averagely, a goal per game. Now, and then to score 10 goals just as attacking. And now, what can they do? Players never honor or don't. By now, Yaya is not Baba Yaya is not scoring goals. Emmanuel Entry ain't goal. Inti and it's strange because meaning said these are midfielders yeah, but me say see coaches should be able to have a strategy to everything Kotoko be ineffective. Because me why one particular player from a team we are going to focus on him and want to mean free a team because that player on your Messi on your Ronaldo
Chelsea analysis is
no that level of thinking no Prosper Nibi you cannot then compare Prosper to Maresca. Prosper needs a strategy say player where she goes a player where focus this player no draw the people to the side, create the opening for the other players. Again, so that's what draw because in this case, Kopama draws the player away, and you have other players who a scoring ability in the washroom. We know Sir Jackson, Amo Anumpo Yenadrin say, okay, and me draw defenders. Why in the so there's a problem with the Kumasi Asante Kotoko team. Again, it's a goal scoring in ya. Now, it also talks about the creative spark of the team. When him say creativity was rare, opportunities be brave PA game anymore. Ain't as much as we know that Kotoko players need waste chances. Me sign this about hand yani and said need a lot of statistics to talk about. But the creativity of the team nature say in chances no a baby bria likely say obi betimi aka ba ko be dia tum. But limited chances. The creative spark of Kumasi Asante Kotoko team is also for me a bit of a challenge. In the thought that we say be Emmanuel no na and creative chances no. But honestly one particular player utumi wasteful. Baba Yaya creativity a bit limited. Me wunu how the creative spark of Kotoko team a problem. Then defensively so. Almost 30 years na a blowy a year na what's the name of that chap from Guinea? Was it? Yeah, Sana Samba. So I think all of a sudden. I say Momo yeah you can start here ball member so I do be now scoring no kwa fe I the goalkeeper so the errors besa better so you have goalkeepers committing errors and defense also not into a problem. But within a matter of 2 matches, Prosper are corrected. Yanka say we saw say I say we're working on the challenges in the 5 games. But the test case are future stars the Bemau. The tester here, litmus tester, Diana de Bemano, is different from Hearts of Folk. Hearts, Diano, and just 3 points na at stake. A bragging right at stake. In Tiana, the competition in the opposition no, a bit different. Now, Kotoko substitutions. Is it normally games where the Anna can expect substitutions to be me about assassin games? But me who sad the answer Kotoko substitutions eba be change the complexion of Kotoko games a brave moyedi and it also it can be kakra because equally, to say the old bear Chelsea analysis, Chelsea substitutions are equally as good as a. But Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and oh yes, our comparison na enye. Inti, you have a bit of a challenge. Kotoko hope is a commit me add the strikers and attackers to the Brian be transferring. But unfortunately, it's our opportunity no. Am I? Into the one and I debate game. The minimum say, what could help Kotoko ne say? How to folk in Remu into a Kotoko game so Moko mark a player out. A day has be thinking say on betting me impose their game on Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And any idea? No, they won't do it. They won't do it.
Say a strategy.
Yeah, but they would.
One has 60% of Kotoko goods.
You see,
so why not mark him out? You say 60%.
Sa era na Kofi Gare ye Eric Bequin bi no. Me who say one, I don't even see how to folk defender obey me yes I do because now Kofi Gare there no there. It was presence, aggression. Na near Denny wojina ho no mu timi say player near and na Kofi Gare no so build ne or building a cloud kakra. To know I now say oh me gumen mas. Me who sad ye ni be so even from the heart of folk perspective whether it is me who will go into the game to go and do that. And that means that it will give Kotoko a Bema Kotoko chance.
Say, so Amwa beat me operating.
Say yes, because me who say I don't think how to go will come with a strategy for Amwa.
Map him out.
And a bit me ama Kotoko an opportunity. If you put that together, Kotoko right back, any Kotoko left back. In modern games, the influence of right backs and left backs. If you look at what SCAD offers them, now Kotoko operating from the right and the left, no, they should also more contribute to attack. Me who had so much in swingers coming in from left and coming in from right, and it's also a problem for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Now, tactically, I feel that Prosper on a day would have the upper edge. Unim, games are Kotoko hard to focus about in recent times. Yeah, in that the last about 3 matches, Kotoko had the tactical edge over hard to folk. But they are not hard to folk. What the motivation and drive are the boss our game. And yeah, me said tactically, Prosper be ahead of Watara. And so Watara are reacting in the game. Now about with the same approach or the other games now. Because Osha Kotoko Ediana game now, you saw tactically how Ana Kotoko is superior over our champion team now. And our champion right from minute 1 to the 90th minute. And to me I reacted. Emma Kotoko a ball game no very comfortable throughout the entire duration of the game. Watara shares our game no. Then our Prosper catch almost say mom panic, mom kobo aggressive football. Omonko emmo ball no at their own tempo. Ommo ball no enyana amon fan so much so omni aduana na ebo. Omonko more game no and enjoy game no. Playing the game to say the no. And I remember sa boy na Sika Akuno. Sika Akuno ba Kotoko no obo Africa no. Sika Akuno kwa away. No more away game to say the more born home. I remember that their games very well. Playing ball no dictate controlling games so away game. And that's what Omoye against Adriana. Against Hartofo has been with in other side games mentally, psychologically as a over when near daily we say Kotoko relax it. Everybody to say the boy Adriana no but game no take the game at their own pace. And panic. Game and panic and call for unnecessary tackles. Now but dictate the pace of the game. Bob passing game. And mabibia and panic and maintaining your shape and composure. I can tell you Kotoko beat me and the edge in that particular game. But the meaning say Hearts of Oak team also tries to about the same game. And it has was some very skillful players here.
You better say has later. For now, your concentration on what Hearts of Oak. Yes.
Now may can the above become a strength or a weakness of Kotoko. If a heart a yes sadiano. Now Kotoko you imagine say you better call with tackles. You better a game, and you'll be the red card.
Okay.
And that is why I say that the strength of Hearts of Oak, if Kotoko am prepared against that strength, it could be a weakness for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. To me, analyze it, the strength of your opponent could also be your weakness. And that is why I'm mentioning from that perspective. All in all, I think that we'll have an interesting game.
I 87 points.